And we are live. Hello, 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 everybody.
Hello.
This is your girl, Thiva Daniels.
And I'm Tara Jones.
And we are a dose of reality. You see that?
Oh, yeah.
So listen, this is our launch of our very first show, A Dose of Reality.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
we are extremely excited to be here. We are extremely excited to talk about these different topics. And listen, the whole purpose of this show is not to give you my view. It's not to give you Tara view, but it's to give you different opinions on one subject. A subject ranging from anything fun, sexy, um, biblical, demonic, the problems that go on in the world, relationships, parenting. You can think of it, you name it, we're going to talk about it.
Absolutely.
However, one of the things that I wanted to make sure of, and then you can go and share it too. One of the things that I wanted to make sure of is that I introduce myself. My name is Thiva Daniels, and let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a master hairstylist. I've been in the industry for over 20 years. I have gained a lot of footing and a lot of success in the beauty industry. I'm the owner of the Hair Relics brand. You can find me at Hair Relics Advance, which is a school that's dedicated to uplifting young people and giving them skills, knowledge, and help them with their communication base and a plethora of other things. And also on Hair Relics Advance, we take licensed cosmetologists, barbers, or people that's in the beauty industry, and we help them understand the business behind the brand of beauty. That's one. And then I also have Hair Relics Beauty and Nail Salon. So I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. Yes, honey, I'm a grandmother. Yes, I'm a lot of things, but what I am is I'm a minister as well. But I'm an unorthodox minister that don't, and I come for the juggler. I don't do the things that most people do. I understand the what God has given me. Not necessarily what he's giving you. He said, now you're getting understanding. So my purpose in life is to understand what he has purposed me for and just to live and do just that. So that's a little bit about me. What about you?
Well, my name is Tara Jones. I've been married for 14 years. I am in the healthcare industry. I have two wonderful children. What else? I am looking forward to be a social worker next year. I also too am a teacher. I teach the word of God, but I'm also real. I love to talk about the reality of what we deal with in the world today, and also giving aspects to what God is trying to do in this world as well. So I'm a little bit of diversity of just wanting to be real about the reality. And like I was telling Fever yesterday, I said, in order for us to have we have to be, in order for us to talk about reality, we got to be relatable.
Yeah.
So we are also just coming with topics that is just real, what we see every day, even what we go through, because we can't give out reality if we can't be relatable.
Absolutely. That's the gist of it.
Yeah.
And so today we are launching our very first episode. Come back every single Monday at 7 p.m. and we're going to talk about it. Now, tonight's topic is single woman. What is it? Superwoman, single queen. For some reason, when you single, they always say, "Hey, queen, yes, queen, you single queen, okay, queen." So we want to have a discussion with you guys and just see what your views are. So please tap that screen, give us as many likes as you can, as you please to, and also share this live because we want as many different people's opinion and feedback as possible. Because in all actuality, what we're trying to do is cause people to think.
Yeah.
And to step out of your normal range of thinking and just see it from another person's perspective. And also give your opinion and cause us to think.
Right.
Because how we're thinking it may not, we see it how we see it, and that's that. But I want to know how you see it. So the reason why we chose Superwoman Single Queen is because we want to know, can a successful businesswoman have a successful relationship? How does that go? I actually am divorced. I've been divorced for 1 month. It was not what I was expecting,
Right.
but I can tell you from a successful woman standpoint how I view it. And I believe a successful woman can have a successful marriage because I've seen it done.
Absolutely.
However, it takes a certain mindset in order for that to actually be real. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have your mindset on the marriage being as successful as your business.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have a successful business and then have a chaotic marriage.
Yeah.
Well, where you focus on your marriage being or your relationship, because you don't have to be married to be in a relationship. Let's just be real. You just have to have time that you're willing to dedicate to your partner. But I honestly, from my opinion, I've seen people have great marriages, and of course, trials are going to present itself. But they're a successful. They're a successful couple, and couples, because I've seen it duplicate itself multiple times.
Right.
But personally, I did not make the mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a very transparent person. You guys will come to learn about me. You guys also can talk back. We do enjoy you guys talking back.
Absolutely.
She said, sorry to hear it. Okay, Queen.
Okay. So listen, I'm not, and I'm okay with the fact that I am divorced. Like, it doesn't bend me out of shape. It hurts.
Yeah.
Of course it does.
Right.
But it doesn't take away from who I am
Right.
as a person, right? But the situation, it did happen, and there's nothing I can do. But from a successful woman's standpoint, and what I personally did in my marriage in the very beginning, no, I didn't dedicate time to my marriage. I spent more time trying to build my businesses because I actually wanted I wanted my marriage to be successful. And I thought that if I had a successful business, then I can work my way into freedom, and then I can have more time to spend with my husband. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't really work that way.
Absolutely.
And I had to learn that, and unfortunately, I learned that the hard way. One of the number one complaints that my ex-husband had about me was, where's your time at? You don't spend enough time with me. I need some time. Mm-hmm. I'm lonely. How am I in the house with you when I'm lonely? How are you still on your phone booking appointments? And I'm here with you. Yeah. I work all day long, so when I get off of work, I'm not even concerned with just the meal. I want you. Mm-hmm. So where are you at, ma'am? And I had to learn how to mature as a woman, as a married woman. I had to mature so I can actually dedicate some time to my husband, because regardless of my own personal feelings, that man needed me. Right. And not all men have a desire for you. Mm-hmm. Not all people in relationships have a desire to be with the person that they're with. Let's just be clear. Right. And I did. I had that. So what you think?
I coming from a woman that's been married for 14 years, I believe that there has to be a balance. You can't get so caught up in this business and that business. And don't get me wrong, I'm not stating that, because we all should be successful. Our partners should be successful. We should be successful, because success brings on other things that we have to take care of: bills, children, finance, all of the above. But at the same time, we have to make room for our significant other. We have to make room. I can't have so much going on to where I don't have time for my husband, because this is what happens when we get so caught up in what we got going on. What happens is we set the trap for them to step out and do something else, for them to go elsewhere, for attention. So when we set that tone, we set the tone for them to go elsewhere to get attention from somebody else that's not us. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Absolutely. So, and then we get in that mode where we say, okay, well, how did this happen? How did I let this happen? How did you step out on me? And we forget to evaluate us. Yeah. Well, let me see what I could have shift the blame. We like to shift the blame. We like to say, well, you should have never, you know what I do. I work, I do this, and I do that. But we're not really seeing, and men is not going to open up like we open up. We're going to tell you, this is how you make me feel. This is this. Men is just going to react. Yeah. They're not going to open up with a dialogue unless you really take them there. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say we have to not get so caught up in our own lives and our own busyness to where we forget about loving that man, because that man needs affection as well, just as much as we need affection. So if I'm not giving my husband affection, I'm giving him room to look elsewhere. I'm giving him room to look elsewhere. So I have to learn to, make sure that I have a balance. Make sure that I'm giving my husband attention. Make sure I'm giving the children attention, because I don't want them to look elsewhere.
I feel you on that.
Yeah.
Now, I would have made a bunch of excuses about, my schedule, because in all actuality, my schedule was set when I got with my ex-husband. And I was already like that prior to me getting with him.
Yeah.
And when him and I got together, he let me know that first and foremost, that was one of the number one things that he was attracted to. That was his attraction base. His attraction base was that I was a successful woman. It also was that I was always doing something. He always would say,
but you do know that things changes.
Yeah, I do. And I understand
time.
That.
Yeah.
I didn't get that
right
in the beginning.
Right.
And I'm going to say this. Everybody, whether you're the man, the woman, the femme, the stud, the girl, the boy, I don't care what role you play in the relationship, because relationships vary. Mm-hmm. You got to give your partner grace to grow into who you want them to be.
Right.
Because especially if you're married, because marriage is supposed to be for life.
Absolutely.
And I know that I'm divorced, and for some reason, let me tell y'all, for some reason, ever since I got a divorce, all of a sudden people think I'm an advocate for divorce. I am not. Let me just say this before y'all get too far off in the comments.
Tell you to divorce your husband. You don't need him.
Or not even just that. More so like, oh yeah, you went ahead and divorced him. Good for you. I'm finna leave my husband. Yeah. I'm finna leave my woman. Now I'm finna do it. And I'm all like, well, y'all come to me like I'm the divorce whisperer. I don't advocate for divorce. Like, I would love to see marriages last. Yeah. Mine's didn't, but it doesn't mean that I don't believe in the institute of marriage and the love that comes from it. But let me tell you guys what I did learn. Even in the brokenness, I learned that I will change and he's going to change as long as we continue to go, grow, and glow. Yeah. If you don't continue to move and keep going in your marriage, you're never going to see your partner make it to another level in themselves. Right. So just when I thought I was just a successful businesswoman, now I got my stride. Now I'm moving and grooving. Now I'm doing all the things that I really have always wanted to do. And it's requiring some time for me. I need this man to understand that I'm not going to always be readily available for you. Mm-hmm. And one thing that he said was, cool, I love that about you. I love that you're a go-getter. And then once we got married, he was all like, I thought you was going to go get it and then get married to me and stop because I'm here now. But cut the volume down. But let me tell you, my actual wants and desires started to change as I started to change. Mm-hmm. His did as well. So I actually, I had to learn to give him the time that he was desiring. And that was not always easy because I desired to be elsewhere building. Right. And he desired to, he had been without me for so long, that now that he finally got his hands on me, he want to get as much of me as possible. And I did not know how to share myself with him and all of my dealings. Mm-hmm. This is just my honesty. Right. I did not know how to share myself. Right. I thought that just because I was married and doing the thing, he needed to be, listen, I'm bringing in money. You don't have to work so hard, sir. You don't have to be completely consumed with making sure everything that we have going on is taken care of. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing in money. Right. And he like, yeah, so I'm bringing in money too. And no matter whether mine is bigger than yours or yours is bigger than mine, what we have should be good enough for you to take some time off and give me some time. Right. So I'm going to tell you where we got this topic from. I recently did a hair show and I was in Minneapolis. Mm-hmm. And I looked around and I was an expert panelist. And while I'm on this stage and I'm talking and I don't know these women, they could be married, but I didn't see rings. Right. And and now I don't have a ring on my finger. My finger still feels naked and bare, boo hoo hoo,
Yeah.
because I just had a ring that I was toting around on my finger for 7 years.
Right.
Okay, and now that it's no longer there, it actually feels light. It feels bare. It feels silly. I feel like I never wore other jewelry once I got married on my hands, but I'm sitting on this stage with all these wildly successful business women. I mean, some of them were really wildly successful,
Right.
okay? And I'm sitting up there on this stage and I'm listening to all these beautiful women talk about their lives, their businesses, their level of success, and what they've learned. And I don't know why my eyes just kept jotting to their finger. And I asked a couple of those women, "Are you married?" And they like, "Girl, no, I ain't got time for no man." And I'm all like, "What? I don't want this." Like, listen, your girl want to be married. I ain't nobody girlfriend.
Yeah.
So let's be clear about it.
Yeah.
I'm somebody's wife.
Yeah.
And I'm not in a position mentally or otherwise to be out here allowing a man to come into my experience right now. But when it's time, it's gonna be on the pop because I'm not meant to be somebody's girlfriend.
Right.
I'm meant to be somebody's wife, and I would step all the way out of the success range because I ain't trying to be a lonely rich woman, with these little toys that go left, right, up, down, and swing on you. I don't need all that. I would love to be a companion or have more than just some regular companionship. I want a marriage that is successful. I want love. I want happiness. I want thriving relationship. And I also don't mind a little drama with it because I know it's gonna come, period. But I understand that you gotta have time for even the drama.
Yeah,
you gotta have some time to get to your mate.
And those are trials, those are trials that comes unexpectedly. That's what what comes in a relationship is trials. You have the good times, you have the bad times. But I also saying too, that's the word submissive. Are we willing to, when our husbands tell us, do we love our husbands enough to say, okay, I need to back away from work. I need to give you your time. Because some people look at, like you said earlier, I have to do this. I got to put the kid in college. I have to, pay this bill. I got to pay this credit card off that I maxed out. Not you, husband, but I got to do it. And there's some things that we have to do on the side that our husbands don't even know we got to pay off. You see what I'm saying? So we don't always open up that door financially of telling our husbands, well, I have to do this. But in our mind as a woman, we already know I'm working this overtime. I'm getting this money in because I have to do A, B, C, D, and E. But at the same time, when our husbands say, or spouse or partner, boyfriend, whatever, if they say it's too much, I need some of you. Can we
scale back? Can
we be ready and not happen to argue and say, okay, let me step back. Let me calm down what I'm doing and pay attention to you. Because there is some feedback every time,
I didn't do that.
And that's the problem.
I didn't do that. I did that over time, but initially in the beginning of the relationship, I didn't do that. I didn't make him a priority.
So do you believe, in that being said, do you believe that that's when they have their attention elsewhere? Because most people, again, will say...
That could be.
Most people, again, will say, you did that because you wanted to do it.
Yeah.
You did that because
I don't... So my belief factor wavers on certain things. The only reason I didn't make time for him, out of honesty, is because I didn't know how. My ex-husband was the very first real relationship that I was in. I had never been in a relationship longer than a year. And I was in one for 2 years, but that was like in 3-month increments, right? And so this relationship was the longest I had ever been in a stable, committed relationship. So I didn't know how to dedicate time to him. I didn't know how to split I am a hardworking woman. I get up every day. I have a set schedule. I take my children to school. I leave early from work just to make sure I'm home when my children get there. and I go to church and I have different things on my agenda. And so once I actually started learning about his uneasiness in the relationship, I didn't check myself. I checked him. And then in checking him, the Holy Spirit had to check me.
Right.
And let me know, hold on. What about all these women who sit in your chair and tell you that they so busy checking their man that their man is out stepping out?
Right.
You better do something before that happens to you.
Right.
So I got checked, but the Holy Spirit checked me.
Yeah.
That's just me being 100. Yeah. I ain't get checked by my friends, you know, because oftentimes women agree with the foolish mess that their friends are out here doing. You know, if your friend is saying, girl, I can't stand with my husband, he getting on my nerves, I need time away from him, your friend gonna say, girl, I know what you mean, girl. No, it just depends on the type of friends you have, because I have some friends that'll be like, girl, bye, you better get on your face and pray.
Absolutely.
But I also have some girlfriends that'll be like, girl, yeah, I get it, girl, you know. So it just depends on your maturity level.
Right.
My maturity level at the time said, these bills are important. The goals that I have set prior to me getting with you are important.
Kids need things.
These kids need things. These bills are not going to stop because you want my time and attention. And let's be clear, now that you're in the household with me, your money is something, but it's nothing in comparison. And this is no dig to him. And I need everybody to know this. This is no dig to him. You know, even though we're not together anymore, y'all don't hear me dogging him out.
Right.
I don't dog him out because I respect my marriage while I was in it. And even though I can tell y'all some stories that would seem like I'm dogging the brother out, I don't dog him out. Right. And so because of that, I won't go so far into detail about certain things, but the dude knew what my lifestyle was like when he got with me. Right. So that would have been my argument. Right. Dude, you already knew I was lit and on when you got with me. So what made you think that I was going to slow down now that you, as a matter of fact, you told me that was the thing that was interesting to you when you first got with me.
So now I feel like you feeling yourself.
No.
You don't raise your voice to a 10 like, nah, nigga, it's you I'm talking to.
But the level of maturity that you have to have in a marriage brings you out of that headspace.
So now, okay, that's the topic is single women, single queen. Because we just discussed the things that we have to do when we're married. Now that you're single, now some of you guys may be single. What's next?
Hell.
I
don't know. I need y'all to talk up because y'all got to give me some feedback. I don't know what I'm doing now.
I mean, you don't work 10 jobs.
What they saying on
Instagram? You have worked 10 jobs. You have, I mean, you've done told this man, this is what I have to do. And some of you have even has been submissive to what he wants you to do, and yet the relationship is still gone.
No, let me tell you.
So what do you do next?
Let me tell you. We were married for almost 6 years. Within the first year and a half, I cut all that. It was necessary because he had expressed to me that he wasn't happy with the fact that I worked so many hours. Now it's a topsy-turviness because I'm gonna tell y'all really what happened, but I'm gonna be honest with you. I adjusted my schedule to fit the new life that I had.
Right.
I had no other choice. I did not work this hard to get in this relationship. And I didn't work hard to get in it. But now that I have it, I understand that a marriage is work.
Right.
I have children. Right. I understand that being a mother is work. I cannot just wake up and expect their lives to be however it's going to be. It's going to flow however the world makes it flow. But if I am going to be a successful parent, I need to give them structure. I need to give them guidelines. I need to set boundaries, and I need to have rules. Same thing for a marriage. We took premarital counseling going into it. However, those are comments, you can read it. However, whether we took premarital counseling going into it or not, the actual marriage is what taught me. So about a year and a half into the marriage and him discussing his dismay about how he felt about me not always being available to him, I decided that, you know what, this right here is for a lifetime. And I respect him and I love him dearly. So let me scale back and let me make sure that my clients, because all I was doing at the time was just teaching and working.
Right.
Let me make sure my clients understand that past 6 o'clock, I'm done. Right. So that means your last appointment has to be around 3:30, 4 o'clock.
Right.
I would not accept any appointments past 3:30 and 4 o'clock, only because I'm married and this man is requiring time from me and he putting his foot down.
Yeah.
And he don't like it.
And you gotta respect it.
And I didn't like the way I made him feel.
Right.
I didn't like that I discredited his emotions and his feelings.
Right.
I didn't.
Right.
So once I seen that it was real, I personally scaled back.
Right.
But let me tell you, on the other side, this man always switch jobs. Let's be real.
Oh,
And I kept a job at the same time. I'm in the salon from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. That was my hours.
Yeah.
I know, whatever.
Yeah.
Don't talk stuff about me. That was just my hours. Girl was out here getting that bag, okay?
Yeah.
But in all actuality, I scaled back. I would leave and go back to work. After I came home, made sure everything was prepared, I would go back to work. But what happened was he came in working the night shift. He would work from like midnight to 7 a.m. And so me working all day long wasn't a problem because he wasn't there anyway, right?
Right.
But he got another job. And this job had him working from 5 a.m. until there was no, listen, y'all understand this. There was no time that he had off. You understand me? When he got off is when he got off. He just knew he got off anywhere between 3 and 6 p.m.
Right.
So I had to be, and we only had one vehicle, okay? So I had to be ready to leave work anywhere between 3 and 6 p.m. every single day. Now that I'm out of it.
Yeah.
I now
That's
know.
The thing. What do you do next?
I now know that I could have rearranged my schedule and had the last client coming about 2 and then come back around 6:30.
Right.
But I couldn't do that because he wanted my time as soon as he got off of work. So I was only able to work from 5 to 2. That ain't the type of money I'm used to making. I'm used to making a nice amount of money.
Right.
Not gonna name numbers, but I'm used to making a nice amount of money. And so for me not being able to be there all that time, I ended up losing a substantial amount of customers because I had to leave in between services.
Right.
To go pick him up from work. So there really was no compromise.
Right,
I really was the one doing all the compromising. And then he left that job and started working from 3 to 11 at night. Okay. And then he kept that job, but they switched him on a different schedule. So his schedule was always changing, which means I had to pivot whenever his schedule changed. I was okay with the pivot because that's what we do. Sometimes we just do what's necessary. But in all actuality, it was unfair to me because my mate didn't consider my time either. Right. Guess what? While we're talking about this, my time was as valuable as his. And just because I switched and made time for him, he did not do the same for me. Right. So the reason why we're not together is a whole lot of stuff. But what's next is I got to heal.
Absolutely.
Because if I don't heal, I'm going to tear somebody's son up.
You have to take time for yourself. You have to take time for and I see so many women, because I've done this back in my day before I got married. When you love somebody so much or you care about somebody so much, you rather get involved with somebody else to get over that person. I know. And but I'm saying I've done that before. Where, and this is like I said before I got married.
False emotions too.
And I think it's more of I'm hurting, so I want you to hurt. I think it's more of that, and back then I was like, you hurt me so much to where I'm going to get involved with this next man purposely just so you could feel my grip. Yeah. And that never worked out because really that just made him want to just be a whore even more. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? But I now that I'm older and I'm a lot wiser and I have 2 children who I want to be able to follow my good deeds. Yeah. I feel like, okay, well, if I ever was to divorce, I would need to take that time out and learn me. That point. Because when you are in a relationship, it is us. It's no longer me. I can't think about me. I have to think about us. When I think about me and I make decisions, I have to say, well, what would Roland want? What would he think about this? How would he make? I put us in the equation. I never leave him out of the equation. I think that's what marriages or relationships are missing today. When you get involved with somebody, it's no longer I. Yeah. It's us. So I can't be like, okay, well, I got to make these dividends. And he can't be like, well, I'm going to work these 2 jobs because now you're not thinking about us. You're thinking about yourself. And when we get out of these relationships, now it is time to not move on to somebody else, but it is time to heal. It is time to learn who we are. Who am I now that I'm not with this person? Who am I today? How do I get me back? You see what I'm saying? Because before we got in a relationship, there was just us. So now we got to learn to get me back again. How do I get me back again? How do I get me back again, but in a different version? You see what I'm saying? Because I still can't go back to that old person though. But I got to be a better single person. I have to be a better version of me.
Absolutely.
Being single. So there's a lot that gotta take place.
Gotta be a shift
before now I'm ready for a relationship.
I know that I am not ready to venture off and start dating. Hell, I only been divorced for 1 month. Right. And on top of me being divorced for 1 month, it was meant because I filed for divorce in March. I'm divorced already. Right. I've never heard of such thing. Even the young lady that was there at the appearance, the court appearance, it was another young lady that was there when I came. And she had been trying to get a divorce for 2 years. Ooh. And here I am up here, the judge like, you're done. And I'm all like, that's it? Like, I have another court date. She said, no, honey, you're no longer married. So I want to read some comments. So we have a young person. I don't know who this is, but the man, I don't know if it's a man. This person says, so upon learning, why did you guys separate? I hope I answered that for you guys. Why we separated? It's 1,001 reasons why we separated. I cannot go into all that.
And because of it's, you don't want him to. Some things can't be discussed wholeheartedly.
I don't give a complete.
But you don't. You don't.
Let me tell you how I will baby, I'll spill. But that's not the purpose of the show.
But out of respect. I
ain't gotta respect him.
But let's bring the minister feel out.
Even me being a minister does not take away from the fact that I'm a human being and that my reality is I'm no longer married.
Right.
And whether it was a fault to be passed off from me to him or him to me, I really am not married. And I wake up every single day and I gotta look around this house
check.
And I'm laying in this bed that I shared with somebody for years. That man is no longer there. I'm not cooking.
Right.
Like I cook every single day. One of the things that he ended up complaining about, and it was one of my very best friends that busted him out. He said, you don't never cook. And she said, I've been around her every day for the past month eating.
So where you been?
And your food is always put to the side because he's never at home. He's at work. They'll get off till 11 at night at that time. She said your food, when she get done cooking, she make your plate, she put your plate up, and she serve everybody. Now don't ask me the question about who gets served first, because I'll tell you, I'll give it to you for real. But I did. I always fed my husband. I fed him breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I made him lunch to take to work. I fed him dinner, and let me tell you something. A lot of times when he got off at 3 a.m, I was up at 1 a.m. cooking meals because I wanted it to be fresh for him, because that's how I was raised. Right. I was just raised a certain type of way. Right. Not every woman was raised like that. Some women that say, boy, you better eat them leftovers. We're going to get into some topics because I want to talk to y'all about some of the things that I have been viewing in social media land. Thank you. I'm so glad that you understand. A union, a partnership, a team. Teamwork makes a dream work. That's my slogan. Teamwork definitely makes a dream work.
Absolutely.
And you cannot have a team and one person is the only one working.
Because there is no I in team. There is an us. And that's the problem with marriages or relationships today. When you made that vow, and you now are under that covenant, you got to think, even when you don't want, there's been times where I don't feel like listening to Roland. There's been times where I'll be like, oh, I'm just wondering, he just gets on my nerves because he's just saying this and saying that. But I have to realize, Tara, you in it for the long road.
Absolutely.
You in it for the long haul. And then not only that, he's not telling me anything that's hurting me. It's not, I'm taking it as offensive, but he's my helpmate.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's my partner. He my partner.
Partner.
So that means whatever decisions or whatever you want to, whatever decisions you decide to make, I got to realize that it's beneficial for our family.
And I got to get on board with it.
Yeah, that's it. And I can't go down your throat like why you said this and why you said it. No, I got to trust that what you're saying is beneficial for our family.
Now, unfortunately for me, this word came out, and I'm gonna say this is some real stuff. I heard of this word some years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I had first heard of narcissism. We all heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we throw it around loose, and it's real, but we throw it around loosely because we don't know what it really means.
Mm-hmm.
And we read a little bit on it, and then we look at our mate and we be like, I think this fool a narcissist, but we don't really know what it means. After being in that relationship for so long, I would always say, dang, this man really seems to have no compassion, no empathy. He seems as if he don't even like me.
Right.
And I mean, he tell me he love me daily,
Mm-hmm.
but he act like he don't like me.
Mm-hmm.
And that always perplexed me. And then once we separated, that one of the stipulations of us getting back together was him to do aggressive therapy. I needed for him to get some aggressive therapy just so he can work through some of the things that's going on in his mind because I was unable to reach him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he called me and said, because he didn't get a counselor. He got a psychiatrist. And psychiatrists are actually legal doctors. They actually they work on the psyche, mentality, and mind of the human being.
Right.
And he was actually diagnosed. And I didn't even know it was diagnosable.
Mm-hmm.
He got diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder.
Mm-hmm.
And that's
so did you find that out before?
After.
Okay.
I thought of it before.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was because he seemingly, and I'm gonna get off of that because we're not talking about that.
Right.
But I want to talk about this just a little bit. I thought he was because of what I read.
Right.
But I'm such an understanding person that I wanted to know if I was too, because some of the personality traits in it I thought fit me. I'm all like, maybe I'm a little narcissistic too. But then I talked to for real, I'm real. So I talked to my girlfriend who's a therapist, and she said, no, she asked me a few questions. She said, no, first off, I know you. Second off, based off the line of questioning that I just did, you don't fall underneath the realm of being a narcissist.
Right.
However, my ex-husband was diagnosed.
Hmm.
So this was real.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually slept next to a person who was dealing with a disorder that caused him not to have empathy.
Right.
That caused him to only think of his own emotions as real and valid.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the reasons why I always felt some kind of way. But as far as like what you were saying before about the getting on somebody to get, getting with somebody to get over somebody.
Yeah.
I just can't.
Yeah.
Like I love myself. I value myself.
Mm-hmm.
And my marriage, whether it's over and whether it's over or not, it's over. I filed and it actually went through.
Yeah.
It's definitely over, but I can't see myself. Like I'm gonna tell y'all, I wasn't ready to be out of my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was and still love my ex-husband dearly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just end up finding out some things, infidelities that I couldn't get down with. And we say we can't get down with something, and then we forgive and we end up getting down with it anyway.
Absolutely.
So I thought I couldn't get down with it. I thought I was going to just move on, but then I end up forgiving him because I wanted to just make it work, right?
Mm-hmm.
But even in my making it work, he just did not stop. He just, and then what I learned about a person that's narcissistic, they really do not understand how to care about your emotions and your feelings. All it is about their own gratification. And so being with somebody like that, I gotta now heal.
Mm-hmm.
When I say I'm gonna mess your son up, I'm not gonna beat him up or anything like that, but I'm not gonna give him the time of day because first off, my heart is still with somebody else.
Right.
That's number one. Number two is because of that, and because of the situation, whether my heart is there or not, my mind ain't.
Right.
And I'm not stupid enough to be in a relationship that is, abusive on those type of mental levels, I ain't finna just keep on going through that channel, because I'm going to do that to somebody else, because that happened to me for 7 whole years.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to get some type of healing, because now the thought of even talking to another man traumatizes me.
Right.
It scares the living hell out of me.
Right.
I don't want it.
But sis, and this is the thing too that I think we fail to do as either women or men, and we talked about this last night. We don't investigate. We don't investigate of who we're dealing with.
Yeah, I talked about this on a live I did maybe 3 months ago.
The investigation happens when we find out what once the investigation happens, once they do something wrong to us, and now we want to check out
Indeed.
Why. Yeah, and indeed. When really, and like I said, this has been happening from generations to generations.
Yeah.
We just get involved with these people because he's nice, he's liking on me, he's doing this for me, he's showing me that he cares, he's really attentive, and he's really, consistent. And we get involved with these people. And it's just not the man. I'm saying this even for the man perspective, vice versa. So what I'm saying is, I think before we get involved with whoever we may get involved with, we need to do some investigation about these people.
Yeah.
Because had you known that he had a disease before,
he didn't know.
Right. He didn't know, but
neither one of us did.
Right. But I'm saying,
and it was only because of his actions,
right? But
led me to say, you gonna
something
have to
is wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I because I knew him, we grew up together. I did my due diligence. Oh, I was on every crime site. I was looking up. I'm like, is he ever got evicted from an apartment? Like, what's this?
But not just that. Like, okay, so because I'm the type of person where I need to know why you not with why you not with all these 5 people that you was with. I don't want to know what you did with them, but I do want to know why you broke up with them.
Yeah,
I need to know why you broke up with him, why y'all, what happened, why this relationship didn't last, because I need to know who I'm dealing with. You know what I'm saying? But I also too, I want an honest man, and I do know that sometimes when you're doing your investigations, they just not gonna be totally honest with you.
That point.
You just have to find out as you go along the way. But I do believe that if we start checking stuff back, because we even need to go far as what's your family like? What's your family line like?
Things about
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What's your family line like? Because sometimes people can have some issues within their family, and that can cause your significant others to be messed up.
In my situation, I did the background.
What's your credit like?
I did the background check, and I was fine with what I saw.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even just that. That's surface level. Okay. You have to reprove people. Once you see what you see and you attracted to it and you like it, now you got to give it time. Like that was a Tyler Perry movie. Mm-hmm. He talked about knowing a person in all 4 seasons of their life. When they're happy, angry, broke, frustrated, what's their posture going through?
Right.
That was what I needed to learn about him, and I didn't learn it until after we were married.
Mm-hmm.
But I seen all these red flags prior to us getting married that I just overlooked because.
So, okay, let me cut you off. The red flags was there, and we do this.
Yeah, we overlook it.
The red flags be there, and we constantly say, okay, and there's nothing wrong with chances. True, God give us chances every day we get up. Because I probably got it all wrong yesterday.
Yeah. And
yet he woke me up this morning to give me the opportunity to get it right today. So I wholeheartedly believe in chances. But at the same time, when do we say, oh, you just this
no, you ain't it.
You ain't it. When do we say that? When do we say that before we make this relationship 6 years, 7 years, 8 years?
I don't know. I do know something different than what I learned initially going in.
Yeah.
I had it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
How I would operate,
right?
How I would do things, how I would see things. But I end up learning in the end that you really gotta see them and how. First off, how do they handle money? And when money is low, how do they handle it? Do they budget? Do they plan? Are they taking care of business like they say they are? Are they really on top of it? Or are they just talking about being on top of it, but really just squandering it? How are they with children? If you have children, how do they treat your children? So in the world of narcissism, it's this thing called love bombing. And if you never heard of love bombing, this is where the relationship conversation comes in, the previous conversation comes in. So you want to know about, why are you not with your ex? You seem to be an awesome person.
Right.
A person that is a love bomber, a person that has narcissism, they're going to love bomb you. And what love bombing is, they're going to first, before they even get to love bomb you, they're going to disclose some things about themselves that's going to make you feel sympathetic towards them. But they also going to tell you about their ex.
Right.
All of their exes is crazy. They do too much. They're stalkers. They're going to be the ones that are going to make their life a living hell. And so when you're dealing with somebody who never takes accountability, because I'm an accountable person.
Me too.
I'm going to tell you about my mess.
Wholeheartedly.
I'm going to say, no, I was a mess. No, I was full of drama. No, that was on me. That's just me.
Absolutely.
But not, and there's some men out here that does the same thing, but not everybody is going to be willing to take accountability over their personal selves.
Right.
So one thing that a person that has a narcissistic personality disorder is going to do is they're going to make sure you understand that it was not their fault, because they love hard.
Right.
And deep and wide. And because of that, my ex was crazy. She just didn't understand me. He just didn't get me. But when the love bombing part comes in, they're going to woo you, please you. It's not all about sex. They're going to please you in so many different arenas that you're going to be blindsided to the red flags.
Right.
But on the other hand, once we are coming,
that is so true.
You know what I'm saying?
That is so true.
Once
they would definitely
go hard.
And you be like, you don't even look at the red flags after that.
I seen all them red flags.
I'm serious though, but they still will allow you to cover it up.
Baby, I was looking at the red flags waving at me like, hey, hold on.
Like you was in a racetrack.
And I was all like, that's a green flag. Like, that red flag said go. And but also once you reach a certain level and age in life, you become desperate. And I say that in some real talk. Listen, I had never been in love, not real love. I've had sex love. Like it was so good that I just think I'm in love.
Right.
But then
there's a difference.
It is, because I've had people that I thought I was in love with and had sex with. It was like, well, I don't like him no more.
Gotta go.
So it is a complete difference. But so when it come down to, that particular relationship, I absolutely was desperate. Like, I'm about to be 40 years old and my children are growing up, and I prayed to God that I was married so they can get a chance to see a healthy relationship so that they can believe in marriage and get married one day. These were my prayers. And then when I end up with my ex-husband, I'm still learning how to say ex. It's hard. When I got with my ex-husband and I started to see the red flags, I overlooked them because I'm like, not right now, flag. You better go wave on somebody else's porch. Right. Hell, I'm lonely. Right. I ain't been with nobody. My little juice box want to spread all over the place, and I just only wanted to be on one person. I don't want to give it to a whole bunch of people no more. I just want to be with one person. And this person seems to fit the bill. And every little flag that I seen that waved in my face, I said, maybe I can love him past that.
Absolutely.
Maybe I can love him through that. And so because of that, I tried. And unfortunately, we both did things to sever the relationship. It was not all on him. But in my opinion, a lot of it was because I believe he knew about some things that were going on with him prior to us getting married. Right. And he just didn't decide to disclose that information because maybe he just wanted to be with me.
Yeah. And it could have been he might not have felt like sometimes men don't disclose information because they don't want you to look at them differently.
He just said, I believe if one grows up knowing a person, they see all kinds of signs, but ignore them. That's true.
Absolutely.
And me and him, we knew each other, but we had been away from each other for about 15 years. So I didn't know the adult version of him. I only knew the kid version of him. And he was, pretty cool. And when we grew up and I seen him again, I was like, wow, chicken, wow, wow. Like he was so fine and smelled so good and just was amazing to me. So that's that. But on the single side of things, there are certain things that I have to relearn. Like for instance, being married for so long, and knowing certain things about myself, I know that I have some flirtatious eyes. Okay, my eyes are flirtatious. I've always heard it. I've always had men say, "You got mysterious eyes." Thanks, men, such creeps. Ooh, girl. Wondrous. Ooh, girl, you got those mysterious eyes. I feel like you're stirring through my soul. So with that being said, I'll be sitting up there looking at a mole on their face and they saying that I'm stirring through their soul. So because I know I have these sultry eyes, I have trained myself not to look men in the face. That's just me. As a married woman. As a married woman, I trained myself not to look men in the face because they always thought I was flirting with them.
So now that you're single,
now that I'm single, I have to relearn not to look at people in the face. So I got a story. Listen, I was in Vegas. I was in Vegas just maybe like a month before I got the divorce was final. Yeah. And I went to an Eddie Griffin concert. And I seen Eddie Griffin. Everything was dope. And we took all these pictures. But before we went in, when we went to go pick up our tickets, there was this guy coming through. I think he was a professional basketball player. And so he was coming through the lobby of the hotel. And he looked at me and he must have been like, round. Or maybe I said round. I don't know who was round, but one of them was. And so he looked at me and he tried to catch my attention. But I'm like, I ain't tripping off you, guy. And so we got the tickets and we went to the show. Once the show was over, we went to a restaurant. And guess who's in the restaurant when we walked through the door? The guy is, and he's with another guy. And so I'm gonna ask you this
so
question.
one says, Janetta says, hey, my question is, where and what are some resources I can refer to for the diagnosis test?
Okay, one thing I do know is it has to be a psychologist. It has to be a person that deals directly with the brain of a human being. So that's a psychologist, not necessarily a therapist. Right. So that's what I do know. Yeah. So
and you can research that in your area.
Absolutely.
Of psychiatrists in your area, somewhere local, or somewhere that's where you can go to that's probably not so far in order to get that person the help that they need.
Because there's no once you get the diagnosis, the only thing that you can do is now seek help. Right. When you start to understand what it is, the disease itself, there is no cure for it. Right. The person in itself can only learn about the disease that they have, and they can work on it personally. Right. It has to be a personal attempt to work on themselves, but there's nothing that a pill can do to stop it, unfortunately. Right. Because if a pill could stop it, I'd probably still be married. Absolutely. But back to the story. I walked through to this restaurant, and the guy's sitting there with another guy, and I noticed him when we walked through the door, but I ain't thinking too much of it. So I walked through the front door, and he says, "Hey, you," like, "Hey, you." And I'm all like, "Oh, hi, nice seeing you again." And I kept going. And he said, "Man, you just blew me off again." And I'm all like, "I blew you off? What do you mean?" He said, "When I tried to get your attention earlier today, you looked through me, you waved and you kept going. And even again, just now, this is me, I walked all the way over to him and I'm standing in front of him and I asked him, what do you mean?" And so his explanation was, I just spoke to you again. You looked directly at me, you waved, said hi, and walked away again. Right. And I said, "Oh, I did that. I'm so sorry. I didn't even notice it." And then I walked away again. And then as I'm walking away, something said, "Ding dong, did you just do that again?" Yeah. So I turned right back around and I went up to him and I said, "I think I just did it again." And he said, he said, "You absolutely did that again." Then I said, "You know what? It just dawned on me that I didn't even realize I did that.
Right.
I've been doing this for so many years because I train myself not to look men in the face because men think I'm flirting with them because of my eyes.
Right.
I don't be flirting. Sometimes I'm looking at a boogie in your nose and you thinking I'm just looking at you and I want to do something. And it's like, and that's not my purpose on actually looking.
Yeah.
So now that I'm no longer married, I do want to change that because I do want to notice somebody.
Absolutely.
I want to notice an attractive male.
Mm-hmm.
I want to notice when a man finds me attractive. I don't want, because if I'm going to be a married, because I already came on here self-proclaimed married woman, even though I'm not married right now, I had already came on here and told y'all that I'm meant and destined to be a wife. I'm nobody's girlfriend.
Right.
That being said, how you gonna know if you ain't letting somebody look at you?
Right.
Or if you're not even looking at them because you're afraid that they're gonna think your eyes is too much. Like,
right.
I don't think that about myself. This is just what I've heard about me from men.
Yeah.
So because of that, I guess I have to drop my guards. But I ain't ready to do that yet. I will eventually, but I ain't ready to do that yet. I'm not even thinking about no man.
And I know that.
Hell, I'm still texting my ex-husband. Like, I'm just being honest with y'all. I'm still texting him because I'm still going through the motions of being like in my feelings about this whole divorce. So I'm still like, and I'm not texting him like, hey, you want to meet up tonight? I'm texting him like, you bastard, I hate you. So, I'm still emotional about the situation.
Oh, okay, and then we're talking about, because our topic is Superwoman, single queen.
Absolutely.
It's okay. I know it is a lot of us, we get to that, I'm Superwoman. I don't need a man. Yeah. And I don't need a man. And he dogged me out, and forget him, girl. I ain't gonna never. Matter of fact, I'll get with me a woman because they treat you better than a man. And we get to the point where we act like we're so strong to where we feel like we don't need a man. Now, I'm not never saying that I need a man. But I do want one. But at the same time, it's not healthy for a woman to seem like she got it all together. It's not healthy, if that makes sense. Because it's okay to say I'm hurting. It's okay to say, I need this affection. I mean, I want some affection. I want to be loved. I want to love and I want to receive love. I want to give love. I want that attention. I want someone to hug on me, and I want someone to father my kids, and it's okay to want a companion because that's what God gave to Adam. He gave her. He said
it's not good for a man to be alone.
It's not good for a man to be alone, and it's not good for a woman to be alone.
Yeah.
So therefore, we don't have to feel like now that I'm not with somebody, I got all the power in the world, or I just got this all together. I don't need a man. No, it's okay to go through the hurt. It's okay to go through the pain. It's okay to feel vulnerable. It's okay to want love and want attention and want to be hugged on and want to be caressed. Yeah. That's okay. So, and then another thing too, we also get to the point where we've been through so many bad relationships. Okay, I've been to this bad relationship as a teen. Then I got my 20s. I still seen bad relationships. I got in my 30s. I still seen bad relationships. Now I'm in my 40s, and it's still like I'm still running some bad relationships. Now all of a sudden you just dogging all men out. Every man ain't bad,
and that's a self.
All men are not bad. This is what we have to do. This is what we need to learn to do. Stop choosing the same types.
Well, that's not even a choice. And the only reason I say it's not a choice is because you have to change something about yourself for the same type to no longer be attracted to you.
But at the same time,
because like mine attract like mine.
Sometimes though,
most of the time you're only attracting a certain type of person because you haven't changed from one relationship to the next.
But one thing about it, that a man is gonna be a man. When he sees something he like, he gonna crawl over to that. Absolutely. I don't care if you big, small, short, no hair, little hair. He gonna crawl over to that. But it's up to me if I want to accept it.
But once
I have the choice to accept or reject.
Once he starts to talk to you, I don't care how your outer appearance is because he's attracted to
So
what
now
he
we
sees.
debating, y'all, because you know she finna go in, and she know I'm finna go in on it too.
But because of your outer appearance, you look away, and my natural being is attracted to what I see. But see, in order to be in a relationship with somebody, they got to be attracted to what they feel on you. If you haven't changed your mindset, your personal self, from one relationship to the next person you get with is going to be similar to the last person you was
And
with.
that's why I said you have a choice to accept or reject. Because
yeah, but what are you
I
rejecting? Especially if you're the person that hasn't changed.
But what I'm rejecting is if I'm changed and you come at me and I got that IQ that you the same kind of person that I dated last year,
you're gonna see it.
I'm going to see it and I'm going to reject it because
I
don't want that
but that's
type
because
of
you change.
Exactly.
But let me tell you,
my
what
mind
happens.
changed.
But let me tell you what happens.
But that does not mean that those type of people still not gonna come at me because
no,
that's
but you see it though. Right, but you see it.
Yeah.
But since now you see it, you're not going to be attracted to it.
Absolutely not.
And the reason why I say that is because so many people claim they want something, and then they get in the relationship, they find out it ain't working, and they don't like this type of man or woman no more, and they sever ties with them. They no longer with them, but they didn't do the necessary work for their own selves in their own life, and then they get the same type of man. Guess what they're going to do, Tara? They're going to fall for that person,
right?
Because they did not do the necessary work, and they're still attracted to the same type of dirt, the same type of hurt.
And this comment says, if we keep repeating the same mistakes, we can't expect something better.
Absolutely. And you know why you can't expect nothing better? Because you did not do the work on your inner self.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do the work, baby. You can't expect something better if you ain't better. If you got out of the relationship, and if it's 2 years in between one relationship to the next, but you the same person carrying around that same hurt and trauma, you're going to give off the same mess you gave off in the past relationship.
Right.
It's something about you got to level up.
Yeah.
Something about you has to change. So I seen several things. I seen a video today with Tashina Arnold.
Mm-hmm.
That is Pam off of Martin. There's a hummingbird flying in her house, and he's on her ceiling, and she's like, "Little hummingbird, come down so I can let you out, little hummingbird. I don't want to hurt you, little hummingbird." But this is why we need a man. This is what her caption was. She said, "Dang, I had to be single when a hummingbird flies in my house."
Wow.
And so that goes back to what you were saying, like the whole single
woman,
to be
Superwoman. So powerful.
Let me tell you one thing I used to say to my ex-husband all the time.
I don't need you.
Yeah, I told him that all the time. And I told him that because he said things to me that triggered that.
Mm-hmm.
But I wanted him. It was a difference. See, the difference to me, this just to me, you tell me if I'm wrong or if you have a difference in opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, to need somebody means you can't live without them. To want something means you have a desire for it and you need it. You don't need it, but you need it.
Yeah.
When I said to my ex-husband that I don't need you because I can make it without you, I'd rather not though.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather have you in my life for a lifetime because I like the way life feels with you.
Right.
I like the way the earth smells when I'm around you.
Mm-hmm.
I love your fragrance. I want to be around that forever. I want you.
Mm-hmm.
Wanting to me is so much better than needing. But let me tell you, but on the flip side of it, I'm also committed. So if I no longer want you, I'm still tied all the way in.
Right.
Some people use that, I don't need you, I just want you, but they're not committed. So the moment something happens, they're no longer tied in. See, I was tied all the way in.
Yeah.
So when in my moments where I just didn't even want them no more, I'm still here. We just fought, had a huge argument, the dinner's still on the table. Mm-hmm. Everything that my role that I was playing, that I chose to play in the marriage, did not waver because we're into it or because at this moment I don't even want you. But the whole divorce factor was never on the table. It only became on the table when cheating started happening.
Right. Now, me being married, I have told my husband that I don't need you, but I want you, and that has not changed. Because I feel like after I've grown, after I have developed a relationship with Christ, and I've seen things happen. I done been in tornadoes. I done been in crossfires. I've been in 2-3 car accidents. When I noticed who was there to bring me out of those situations, I knew the number one person I definitely needed, and that was Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
So when it comes to men, and I love my husband dearly, I love my husband with every being in me, but I'm still standing on, I want you, but I don't need you. Yeah. Because I feel like when you need a person, that goes up to their head to where they feel like they can do you how they want to do you. Yeah. They can treat you how they want to treat you because they know they need you. So
absolutely,
my aspect, and that's just with anybody.
That's how I feel.
That's with family. That's with friends. That's with, I don't need you, I want you. You know what I'm saying? I want you a part of my life, but I don't need you a part of my life, because I feel like that people take that to another level.
They do. They take advantage of it.
Absolutely.
But the reason why I said that you may have a difference in opinion is because oftentimes people do. Mm-hmm. I stand on that. Mm-hmm. I never want to be in a relationship where I need somebody.
Right. Because what do you do?
But I needed him for things.
Right.
I needed him to take care of me because I have multiple sclerosis, and at times I just can't take care of myself. At times I can't get up and cook. I can't bathe myself. I can't even talk. Mm-hmm. There's times I know I'm speaking well now.
Right.
Excuse me, but with the disease that I have, there are actual times that I cannot talk. Mm-hmm. I sound like a baby mumbling. And even my writing is scribble scrabble. Mm-hmm. I need you in that moment to kick in and do your part in the marriage, in the covenant, in the relationship.
Right, absolutely.
So I need you in that aspect.
Yeah, in that moment, because I'm in need of help.
I'm in need of help. And that's what you signed on board for.
Yeah.
And then another video I seen that we got to talk about this video. It's the woman, she's standing in the kitchen and she's eating some old bent up pizza. You can tell it was in the refrigerator
for a couple
for 2
days.
And she didn't put it in the microwave, not the oven. Mm-hmm. So this pizza all crusted, rusted, burnt over, and bent. And the man walks in the house and he like, well, where my food at? Mm-hmm. And she like, you know, you could have stopped and got some food before you came here. And he like, girl, I pay all the bills. All you do is make your little money working from home, and you don't even got to spend none of the money. I take care of the kids. I send the kids to different activities after school. Mm-hmm. I send us on vacation. I purchase the vehicles. I took care of everything around here so that you can have a good life. Mm-hmm. Where is my meal? Mm-hmm. And so what is your opinion? Because I have several different opinions on that, and I want to know yours.
Where is my meal? Because I don't care what, and that's the thing. We got to know our role, Fever.
That's what I'm gonna say.
We got to know our role. Because if you don't know your role, guess who gonna know your role for you? Somebody else. And they gonna do it real well.
I honestly believe y'all gotta have the conversation, like you said, coming in the door. Was this, first off, this bent over 3-day-old pizza she eating?
False. Was it frostbit pizza?
Frostbit pizza she eating out the microwave and not even in the oven. She didn't even restore the pizza back to its original form by putting it in the oven and letting that oven heat it and getting it back gooey and juicy for. She put it in the microwave, dried it all the way out. Child don't know nothing about no cooking. Okay, so my opinion is maybe she don't cook and maybe he knew that.
Okay, so I got a question for you and for the audience. If your husband, let's just say, for instance, he made you mad, you found out some stuff or whatever, would you give him that full course meal that he deserved, or would you offer him? Would you offer him what you think he should deserve?
First,
like let's say,
I got an answer for you.
Let's say, for instance, you eating some sweet potatoes, dressing, green beans, turkey. You got you a whole meal going on. Cornbread, honey.
A little red Kool-Aid.
Apple pie, peach cobbler.
With the crumbles on top.
Banana pudding.
All that.
You got your whole dessert.
My husband eating just like me. And nothing is fit to be different. Do you know how many arguments, fights, word stuff went on? Mm-hmm. That man ate good every single round. Mm-hmm. There was one time I flipped his plate out of his hand. But It was one time I say, hey, educate animator. But I did not stop my role. I came into it one way because I'm pissed that you don't turn what and it's terrible. Like, I don't know, but I understand. But let me tell you, from my perspective, whatever it is that you started doing, keep doing it. I always cooked and prepared meals. They're going to be as such. I'm not finna make ramen noodles. And look, I'm finna go overboard and cut some green onions on top of fried egg and lay it on top and say that's your meal while we over here eating steak and potatoes.
Can I give you my petty side? I just want to.
I'm petty too, but I'm not petty on the meals.
But can I give you a little of my petty side? You'll get a 4-course meal, but guess what? You're gonna make your own plate. I'm not gonna make your plate for you.
I do that too.
I mean, I'm just keeping. I just like to give my petty side. I just want because this is the reality show. So, but being me,
he's saying, okay, I'm coming over. Basically, what's your name? TikTok Fist Power. You gotta give us your name because you saying no matter how you ready to piss somebody off, ain't you? You ready to get into a fight so that you can still get your meal. He like, it don't matter what I do, you still feed me. Forget it, I'm on my way.
But you know what? I would do the same thing. But if you have made me mad,
but he definitely getting a meal.
If you have made me mad, yeah, you're going to get a meal. Don't get me wrong, you're going to get a meal.
She said,
but I'm not going to fix your plate. You're going to have to come in and fix your own plate. I'm not doing it.
See, I always still did it.
I'm not doing it.
I still did it. We was going to have that conversation.
And somebody can tell rolling it today. I don't care. I'm not doing it.
But listen, I did. I'm just being honest.
You have food. You just have to fix your own plate.
And I still made the plate.
Yeah.
And I still folded the napkin because I'm extra.
Right
I'm extra. And I fold the napkin and I set it down with his fork and his knife and I made his water and his soda.
Janetta said he may not get the dessert, but he definitely getting the meal. Oh, baby.
He getting the meal.
And the dessert could be something else for later. Now you ain't getting that, but you getting this meal.
I'm giving you that too. I'm giving it all.
Maybe.
I'm gonna give it.
Maybe for me.
I'm giving.
It all depends on how
I'm giving it up out of both panty legs. You will not be able to stop me. But this is my honesty. But I just feel like there are other ways. I don't believe in getting back. I am petty in some ways, but I just never like to do that tit for tat type thing.
I don't now, but I used to. I used to be very
tit for tat.
I mean, just really like I used to look at it like you don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not treating you in the way you're treating me, how can I give you something that's deserving? Where you're not, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying I used to be that way.
I understand.
14 years is a lot of growing up.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? But
absolutely.
I used to be that type of person where give me what I'm giving to you. And if you're not
giving, his name is Mike. My wife was from North Carolina, and her cooking was what really hooked me.
Okay,
that's what's up.
Good.
Hey Danielle, thanks for coming in.
Hey Danielle, but I was just one of them. You know, like I said, I've been with my husband for 14 years.
Yeah.
So it wasn't always me playing even though he made me mad, I want to be submissive. I didn't always play the submissive role.
Yeah.
I've learned to play the submissive role throughout just learning him, learning me, and knowing what God says about it.
Yeah.
How does God want me to? Because one thing about it, God said, I don't need you to handle him. I got him.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it took me a long time to grasp that. Because look, Lord, I want to get him for you.
Yeah.
I wanna let him know.
I never knew how. Can y'all teach me how to get people back?
No, because you don't need to know that now. Mm-hmm. You don't need to know that. Now, if you didn't know the Lord,
I know the Lord.
You don't need to know that.
He heard my cry.
You don't need to know that now.
But look, I never knew how to get people back. There's
no justice out of that.
I know, but sometimes, man, I just really wanted to learn how to stick it to them.
It do make you feel good in that moment, though.
That's why I'm trying to get taught. Because I honestly, y'all, I have been through so much trauma in my life that I never knew how to fight back. Mm. And I never knew how to fight back physically. Mm-hmm. I fought back spiritually.
Right.
I do a lot of praying.
The best fight.
Even at 17, 18, 16, 15, I went through some traumatizing things when I was a little girl. Mm-hmm. And I mean, a very young girl.
Yeah.
And at 12 years old, I even prayed for the man who victimized me. So this was just something that God put on the inside of me. This must just have been destiny.
Yeah.
That God made me the type of woman that prayed for the person that attacked me.
That's deep.
Right? That's deep, but that's just who I am. Kirk said something long. I gotta read.
Let me read this.
What you say, Kirk?
As a man, I'm mad at my significant other. I'm still doing everything I've been doing. Trash still going out. I'm still washing the car. I'm still washing the car. I'm still going to touch you and kiss you and hug you. None of that will change just because I'm upset with you. Okay, Kurt.
That's good, but listen.
I love
Now,
that.
I'm going to tell you something about
all men don't do that, though.
They don't. But let me tell you something about me.
Kurt. Awesome.
That is. That's amazing.
Yes,
like she said, all men don't do that, so you got to get your due justice.
Uh-huh.
But I'm a shut down person. When I'm upset, I shut down.
I'm like that too.
So even though you're gonna get your meal, even though I might roll over and pull my drawers to the side a little bit, I'm still gonna pull away. I don't want to be taught. I don't want you to hug me. I don't want you to kiss me. I want you to leave me alone.
Yeah.
I want to get up out of your space, up out of your face. Don't come around here trying to talk to me. I need you to rub me the wrong way. We ain't getting no resolve in this conversation. And then another thing about me, and this is one thing I know about myself, I'm a problem solver. I don't skip to what's going on. I skip to let's fix it, and then we can talk about what happened to sever it. But that's just how my mind thinks. So whenever a problem occurs, I'm like, oh, that happened. Well, hurry up. Let's get the fire extinguisher. Let's put the fire out first. Let's not talk about how the heck the fire started. Let's get the flames to dissipate. Then once that's done, now let's discuss how the fire started so we never have to go through this again. And that's just how I've always been. But I haven't, I only had one mate that was also a resolver of problems. So we had a really, really cool, we was really just more business than we was anything else. We were really cool with each other. I'm a problem solver too. Hey, Sarah May.
Hi, Sarah.
I am a problem solver. I'm not gonna go, but I still want to put out the flame. But I definitely want to understand what happened to get the fire to start on all levels.
Because you have to. That's important that the fire need to be discussed.
It definitely
it might not need to be discussed right then and there because it's so heated.
Yeah.
But it definitely needs to be discussed once things calm down. Because what happens is if you keep pushing that thing under the surface, it's gonna keep rising up above the surface.
Absolutely.
So it needs to be discussed, it needs to be explained, it needs to be talked out, worked out so we can move on. But I'm the type of person where I'm just gonna say how I used to be because Lord knows I have come a long way in 14 years.
Amen.
I'm the type of person where I'm like you, I will shut down. But at the same time, if it makes sense, I'm a peacemaker too.
Me too.
Because I like peace in my household.
I'm a peacemaker.
I don't like my children to see. And one thing about me and Roland is we would give each other the silent treatment.
Yeah.
So the kids would notice they ain't talking today. You know what I'm saying? We never would really argue. Or we wouldn't, but the thing about it is even when you give each other the silent treatment, that's enough to disturb the peace in the household.
Yeah.
Because the kids need to see.
I wouldn't know.
The kids need to see love. They need to see affection. They need to see that in their household.
Yeah.
So when they grow older and they venture off and make their own family, they would know how to treat their significant other. Are they going to go through stuff? Yes. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes our children is a product of their environment. So I'm always that type of person where I have to say, look, you know, I forget what happened, forget how it happened, but let's make up. You know, let's make up and yet let's talk about what we need to do to not be at this place anymore.
Kirk said, this is great content. I'm learning a lot. And it's my job as a man to pay attention to my significant other,
right?
To my woman, to know when you're feeling that way and how to respond to and treat you accordingly, to give you space and still love you in every capacity.
Right.
And I'm definitely not going to ignore you when you pull those back. I bet you not.
You better not.
But that's good because when ultimately, now we speaking with mature people. This is a mature adult conversation,
Right?
Because not every adult is going to feel that way. I just so happen to not be, and we didn't read the last few things that he said. Last thing he said was something about hooked him. The last 3 is what he recently wrote.
Okay.
Mike is what his name is.
Okay.
But I honestly, I know things that's different than what I knew when in my marriage, my previous marriage, and I'm better going into the next relationship.
Aww.
But I am, and I'm better.
Proud of you. Yeah.
But at the same time, as a single woman, I know that one thing I got to do is always make sure I keep myself up. As a married woman, one thing I got to make sure is that I always keep myself up.
Right.
That's one of the things that we happen to slack on. But we got to give ourselves grace and understand that it's going to be times that we really don't feel like it.
Right.
We don't feel like beating our face today.
Right,
I'm a face painter. So because I'm a face painter, I like to wear makeup. That's really what I mean by face painting. I like to wear makeup, and I like to wear it every day, especially when I'm leaving the house because I do business. And you get more respect when you look a certain way. This is
right.
honest,
Absolutely.
especially in the world of business.
Right.
And I'm in the beauty industry, so I have to keep my appearance up.
Right.
But it's times when I'm laying around the house and I just look like a little hobo. And I want my significant other to respect the hobo in me. I want you to, and I always made sure I showed my ex, all layers of me. The man knew all that stuff. But moving forward, I need my new guy to respect the hobo in me.
Yeah.
He need to respect the fact that I have really curly hair, and sometimes I like my fro. I'm not gonna do no edges. I'm not gonna fleek my edges. I just want my fro to pop, and I need you to leave it alone, and I need you to leave me alone. And how I look. But I still want to kiss, and I still want to hug, and I still want the attention and the affection because I'm extra affectionate. But at the same time, I still need certain things. Now, as far as being a single queen, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I want to be a married woman, and I don't mind being Superwoman. I don't mind cooking and cleaning and taking care of things and all that stuff. But you're gonna have to share some responsibilities with me. Right. I ain't doing that no more by myself.
Yeah,
my ex-husband was the king of I wash your clothes.
Right.
He was a king of washing. Right. That man can wash some clothes now. That man ain't boiled no water. He ain't poured no water. He ain't mopped no floors. He only mopped his man caves. And I gave him a pass. I let him, that was just what I let go on. But moving forward, I don't want to be the only one making up a menu or the only one cooking or the only one. And I don't mind being the only one cooking, especially if you don't know how to cook. But because he did not know how to cook. Yeah. So I thought the Negro lied. He told me, he said, I don't know how to cook. I don't know how to do none of that. But then I went to his mom one day. And she said, that nigga know how to cook. I taught him how to cook. She said, he makes some of the best, such and such. I'm like, he make the best. You said best in cooking and him in the same sentence. We finna fight. I went on a strike. I did. I went on a month strike. I ain't cooked nothing for a month.
Just to see what he can bring to the kitchen.
No, forget about bringing to the kitchen. You lied to me. You lied to me to keep me. That's huge. I don't like that. That's one thing that I found in relationships. This is prior to me getting with my ex-husband. I hated the fact that people lie to get you and they don't know what to do to keep you, but they lie to get you. And so when it came down to what you saying, reprove them, make sure they are who they say they are. That's the number one, because
you have to be consistent.
Yeah.
However you got me, you have to consistently. I'm not saying you need to every day, all day. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying every hour, every second, every minute. But what I am saying is you have to be consistent of however you got me is however you need to keep me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not saying drop down every second and tell me you love me. Drop down every second and do this and drop down every second and do that. But it is what I am saying about consistency is that, think of me.
I'm mushy.
Without me, think of me.
Yeah.
You know, do it because, just because. Do it because it's me and you love me. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you are in love, that's why I always tell people it's the difference between being in love and love. Because a person can be a person can love their spouse and been with them for over 20 something years, but love them, but they have fallen out of love because they have lost their chemistry. They have lost what brought them together. They can give it back, but it takes both parties.
Absolutely.
It takes both parties to keep their chemistry going, because it's so easy. Marriage is a work. It is so easy to fall out of consistency. It's so easy.
I had a wise couple tell me
it's so easy
that marriage is simple.
Oh no.
This is what they said. They're wise. This is what they said.
Let me know the tips.
They said marriage is simple. This is the gist of marriage. You're going to fall in and out of love with the same person for the rest of your life. Make the falling in love portion interesting. She said, I just fell back in love with my husband 10 years ago, and we've been married for 40 years, and I wanted to kill him for 20 in between. She said, I was madly in love with him for 10, wanted to murder him every day when I woke up for 20, and in the last 10 years, I'm back madly in love. But I had some growing up to do in those 20 years that I wanted to kill him. I thought it was him every time we got into it. I never pointed the finger at me. I always say to people, and I'm going to read your question. I'm going to read what you were saying, Mike. I always say to people, and it's something I learned over time, especially from a spiritual standpoint, when we get into a quarrel in our relationship, the first thing we want to do is rebuke our partner instead of the spirit that's attached to our partner. We don't go and say, Heavenly Father, I want you to, we got the authority, so we ain't got to ask God to do anything. But I rebuke and bind and cast and we do all that to the spirit that's attached to our partner, not our partner. And we end up saying, it's you. No, that person got something on them. But guess what? It may be something on you too. Right. So while you rebuking, binding, and casting, make sure you do it to yourself, because it's not just your partner, especially if you're in a relationship, you're getting into it with yourself. Mm-hmm. And you're constantly getting into it is with yourself. No, it takes two to tango. And every time I engage in an argument with my husband, I chose to argue back. Right. I chose it. I could have chosen to just be quiet and shut down like I always do when I'm upset. Mm-hmm. But when I engage you, it's because I wanted to. I wanted to give you the smoke. You see how I'm rolling my neck? You think I let him have some slack? No. You see how my neck is rolling? You better know.
But the fact that before you read that question, the fact when she said that, marriage is easy, that you fall in love and you fall out of love. There's been time you can argue.
No, she didn't say marriage was easy. She just said
it's simple.
She said it's simple because you got to know that in marriage you're going to fall in and out of love with the same person.
But at the same time, do you know that you can? Do you know that your husband can really get on your nerves, but you can still be madly in love with him?
Absolutely, I experience it.
You can. They can really. You can. When I'm talking about out of love, that means. I really
ain't no chance.
I don't want you. I'm with you, but I don't want you.
Yeah.
It's a difference. You see what I'm saying? Because I know me and Roland are with at each other's throats, but the in love part was still there. The fire was still there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I get to the point where I'm out of love with you, it's over. Yeah. I don't want you. I'm with you, but I don't want you. And that's how
I believe it can be rekindled.
It can be rekindled. And again, like we said, it takes two people.
That point. Mike says, as I explained earlier, before she passed, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Sorry, Mike.
We were business partners, then friends, then lovers, then married. And then he said, problem solving requires talking together to solve problems.
Absolutely.
Shutting down and allowing bottled up anger to fester is oftentimes bad medicine in a relationship that is. And where are you ladies from? We're from St. Louis, Missouri, Mike.
St. Louis, Mike.
Well, he was consistent. He consistently said he can't cook until his mama busted him. So listen, yes, I am a shut down person, but because I'm a problem solver, you got to know that I'm coming back for you. I want to discuss what we had an issue about, but right now I got to shut down, because if I talk about it, I'm gonna blow up because I want to be heard.
Right.
And I found out Oftentimes people that want to be heard so bad don't want to hear what the next person got to say.
Right.
And I'm the type of person, I want to hear what you got to say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know your issue with me so
Yeah.
I can work on changing it.
Right.
Because guess one thing I have learned is I'm going to be with you for the rest of my life. These
Mhm.
kids is getting out my house
Right.
at some point.
Mhm.
They're not going to be my complaint. That job that I'm working, that hard job that I'm working all these hours, I'm trying to chase that bag and make that money. One day that's going to be obsolete. I'm still going to be sitting here next to you.
Right.
So I got to learn how to be the wife that you need.
Mm-hmm.
Not the wife that I thought I would be coming into the marriage,
Right.
because I had a thought of what I was going to be
Right.
coming into the marriage, but I turned into somebody totally different. So then I went back and made my prayer request known to God and said, I need to show up differently. I don't know how I'm appearing to him, but from his words to my ear, he don't like who I am with him at this moment.
Right.
So God, help me become the wife that he needs,
Mhm.
so I can actually help him
Mhm.
on the journey called life, because I am your helpmate.
Right.
You're my helpmate.
Right.
We're here to be helpers towards one another.
Mhm.
And you're not standing in front of me just covering me. You're standing in front of me making sure I'm good. But it's oftentimes I got to stand in front of you too.
Yeah.
So you got to share and carry the load as well.
Yeah.
I'm one of those women that since I've been by myself for a very long time, prior to me getting with my ex-husband, I never had a person to cover me.
Right.
So I learned how to mow the lawn, change tires. I know how to change a head gasket. Don't ask me, but I do. YouTube is amazing.
Yes, it is.
First and foremost,
Absolutely.
I learned how to do some very tough things because I was always by myself, and I could not allow myself to hire people for everything that I needed.
Mm-hmm.
And I just didn't have it like that to hire people for everything that I needed. I had to learn how to do some things.
Right.
And because of that, when I got with my ex-husband, he was very uncomfortable with the fact that I was doing so many things.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't like the fact when he went outside to take care of the lawn, I wanted to come out there with him. He like, okay, so it was one time he was getting ready to redo the whole front lawn. Like he was laying the track lighting down and putting mulch up and laying rocks down and planting stuff. And I'm all like, ooh, I got a green thumb. When I was growing up, I do. When I was growing up, my grandmother was she just planted, and she planted greens, cucumbers, tomatoes, bell peppers, actual, and a lot of you guys probably had the same thing. If you can remember, in the 70s and 80s,
Mm-hmm.
our grandparents had gardens in the backyard.
Oh yeah.
In my house now, there's
Cabbage,
a garden in the backyard.
All of it, yeah.
And it was a long line of, it was long, and it was lines and rows and rows and rows of different fruits and veggies that she had planted.
Yeah.
So when he got out there and started doing that, I'm all like, oh, now I get a chance to go outside and plant with my husband. Like, I'm gonna make some lemonade with some ice in it. I'm gonna bring some cookies out to him, and I'm gonna get out and get my little dirt, my hands dirty.
Uh-huh.
And he like, go in the house. I'm like, but I want to help. He like, now go in the house. You ain't supposed to be out here getting the kitchen. I'm like, food already ready.
But you know what? We talked about this. We talked about this the other day.
What's that?
How we got to get out of this traditional cycle. Because back then, the men did do everything. The men did everything.
And he was traditional.
Okay. And see, what my logo is, there's a different there's a different level to every generation.
There is.
And we can't always, every generation has a different motive, a different level. So therefore, I cannot take in and I'm not saying, because a lot of things that our grandparents and our mothers and fathers did, we do take in. We take into, our future today. But at the same time, I love the fact that my husband is diversity when it comes to, he does laundry, he cooks, he vacuums the floor, he shampoos the floor. When we clean up, we do it together. Yeah. He got the upper level, I got the lower level, or he got the lower level and I got the upper level. Because rolling mindset is, babe, I don't want you to do this alone. I don't want you to get tired because we got plans later. So I want to meet you halfway. Yeah. And I like that because, like I said, we can't always carry on the tradition. We can't always be the ones to say, okay, I'm going to let the man do the outside work. And as a woman, I'm going to do the inside work. when it's okay to do it together. Now, if you choose to want to do it the traditional way, that's on you. I'm not knocking you. But at the same time, it's okay
to share the load.
To share the load.
Yeah.
Because guess what? You're not overdraining and I'm not overdraining.
I like
doing
tradition.
this together.
I do.
I don't.
I like tradition.
I don't like tradition.
I like tradition because that's how I grew up.
I
grew up watching my grandmother earn. I'm
like
accustomed to it, shall I say. I'm accustomed to it. My grandmother earned, my grandpa, she washed and ironed all his clothes. And this was back in the day when you had the big ironing board. It wasn't a regular ironing board. It was a steamer that you pull the clothes down on. The clothes down on, it was like a big old bed, like 3 times the size of a ironing board. And that was an iron. You took your clothes and you straightened it out on her really well. And you took and you brought it down on the clothes. And then it stayed down there for a minute. You open it up, your clothes was ironed. Boom. I actually watched her iron his clothes. He had 2 ties, 2 handkerchiefs for per outfit, per suit. And he got a chance to choose whether he wanted to wear the yellow handkerchief and tie or the purple handkerchief and tie. That was amazing to me. I love to see her in the kitchen ironing and talking about the facts of life. That just really, I wanted that. You know, so when I got grown, that's what I'm like, okay, I'm gonna iron my husband's clothes too, because it's what I think my granny do. Then when it came down to cooking and making sure dinner was done and making sure books were balanced, I got that from my mom because every single day dinner was done by 2 p.m. period. Dinner was taken out the day before. It was seasoned. The chicken or whatever she was going to make was going to be marinating. And the morning when she got up, even on Sundays, dinner was already prepared on Saturday. The only thing my mom had to do when she came in on Sunday was put the meat in the oven.
And I don't mind tradition either. I think my husband came in helping.
Yeah.
So I'm not used to it because he came in like
tradition.
No, he came in.
No, you say you're not used to tradition.
I'm used to the tradition growing up because my grandpa.
And he just killed it.
And he killed it instantly. So I'm not, for my own environment, for my own, household, I'm not used to it. Have I been brought up? Have I seen it? Yeah, I've seen it. I've been brought up that way. But when you have a man that comes to your life and talk about teamwork, I'm all for it because I'm not going to. I'm the type, if I see my husband lying the more, I'm mowing the lawn, I'm like you. Where can I help it? You want me to cut the branches?
Because I'm a servant.
You want me? Yes.
You're a servant.
And I want to serve you.
I love serving.
I want to serve you.
That's why the dinner always stays on the table. That's why. When you talk about, well, I ain't gonna make the dinner, well, I can't because the serving in me will not allow me to remove something I once gave you so freely.
And see, this is the thing. As you serve him, he has to be willing to serve you.
I didn't get to serve me. But let me tell you what I did do. I was getting ready to get dressed to go into a meeting today, and I was just real casual, so I was putting on some tennis shoes. So I went into my closet. It's an actual bedroom that's like a walk-in closet. And when I went in there, I'm looking at my shoe rack and all these boxes, and I say, did I give that man anything? I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. I meant that man always bought me stuff. He bought me everything. I don't know. I never wore a pair of Jordans in my life until I got with my ex-husband. I probably have 6 pair of Jordans or something like that. And then I got foams and I got all these other shoes. And I just have, maybe in 1 year, less than a year, he bought me 47 pairs of tennis shoes. This is real. And I had never had a man buy me anything before in my life. But I don't know if I did that for him. I don't know if I reciprocated. I know I did my part.
Right.
I'm not a buyer. For instance, I'm not accustomed to, and I had a conversation with a new business partner of mine. Y'all like this lamp? I want to show y'all this lamp before we get done. But this lamp, it was built by somebody. His name is Kirk McPike, and this is called Lamps. Put it up here. And he make all these amazing lamps that's based off of just different little items. This is a drum set. It's amazing. You got to see it for real.
Beautiful.
It's a lamp, and it's a clock, and it's an actual drum head. It's amazing. And he uses these liquor bottles and make lamps and things out of them. Fire extinguishers, like crazy lamps.
Yeah, very unique.
Very unique and talented, right? Yeah. But anyway, we had a conversation earlier today. And I don't remember. I'm gonna come back to that because it just flipped my mind. Oh no! Talk about being used to somebody doing something for you. He said he didn't understand why, and Kirk McPike is on here now. He said he didn't understand why or how a person could say that they're not used to something if they've been receiving it for an extended period of time. And I could see his side and his point, but I said, and this is my honesty, I had been with my husband for years, and he would always say, "You've been with me for years and you still ain't doing it." I say, because I still ain't got used to having it.
Right.
Understand, I have been single for 30 something years. And now that you're in my life, your 2 years of doing something consistently still don't mean I'm used to it. And that's a security thing.
Right.
Maybe I haven't even accepted the fact that this is real because I never had it before. And so your level of commitment and committing yourself to making sure that I feel secure needs to also be there, because in the marriage, I got to make sure that you feel fully secure in what I'm offering.
Right.
Now, that don't mean I got to make you secure as a man. That's between you and God.
Right.
But as a husband, I got to make sure I'm doing my part. And if it's something that I'm falling off on, with my motor mouth Maybell looking self, I know
and
that
it's 9:00. So she just said her motor mouth. So I'm just trying to.
And we started a little late. But we ain't got to end late. But I'm just saying, like, in all honesty, I asked 1,000 questions, and I got on his nerves a lot because I wanted to know how to best serve you.
Absolutely.
I did not know how to better serve you because you're not communicating with me.
Right.
I'm asking these questions not to get on your nerves, but to understand.
To be better as a wife.
As a wife, I want to know what makes you happy and what upsets you.
Right.
What am I doing? And I don't want to know everything that I do to upset you, because you're going to offend me and I'm going to have to retaliate. I'm going to fight back. But I do want to know what I do that pleases you, so I can give you more of that.
And more and more.
And more and more and more.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that I'm doing my part.
Right.
But as a single woman, I want you single people to talk back to us.
Absolutely.
We've been on here 1 hour and 41 minutes.
Yeah.
And we can end now because it is 9.
Yeah.
But I do want single people to talk back because I want to know what moving forward am I looking forward to, because I don't know nothing about no single life. I've been married for 6 years and been with this man for 7, so I don't know.
And it's been a long time since I knew about it. I don't want to know about it.
She don't want to, and I don't like the fact that I gotta learn.
Today is actually my anniversary.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's her anniversary, and it's her anniversary, and because it's her anniversary and it's 9:00, we leave it because she gotta go and pull up. No, I'm just not gonna say. But ooh, let's plug this.
Let's show that before.
I was just showing you guys.
That is awesome.
Lamps. So this is lamps. These are some of the things that lamps has. This is an actual lamp.
And again, here is his.
Pull it all the way up to the camera. There you go.
This is what he does.
His name is Kirk McPike. It is filled with some type of a gold sprinkles, y'all. Y'all gotta see this. It's amazing.
That is beautiful.
It got diamonds around the neck, and it's a lamp. This is dope. And that's Crown Apple, and this is Crown Vanilla.
Nice.
This is crazy. And look,
I've never seen nobody made.
He even got the bag on. Don't play with him. That is cute.
I've never seen nobody make something like this. This is amazing.
This is called talent in a ball. Like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
And lamps. The company Lamps makes all different kinds of beautiful lamps. Be careful with them. They make all different kinds of beautiful lamps, all different kinds, really. And
they got more.
Always more.
Oh wow.
Always more.
Oh wow. Oh my gosh.
Look, it's dripping, y'all. Check out the drip. And let me see the Stella Rose.
This is beautiful.
We just passing all lamps around. Y'all think we getting lit, passing this liquor around, but it's really just some lamps.
It's just lamps.
This is beautiful.
Empty bottles filled with different crystals.
This is beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
Yes. Listen, gentlemen, take this to your man cave. Ladies, take this Stella Rose to your she shed and put it on up. This is beautiful. Janetta said happy anniversary.
Thank you, Janetta. I appreciate it. 14 years.
14 years of a successful marriage.
Years, yeah.
So we now know that you can be a successful woman because she's a successful woman.
Absolutely.
And she has a successful marriage. I will have a successful marriage one of these days.
Amen.
But right now that I'm single, first thing first is I gotta heal. This is my healing season. So I can make sure that whenever I move into another relationship, that I give them the very best parts of me. But when I get outside, I'm gonna be outside. And y'all ain't gonna be able to stop me. Y'all gonna say, Phil must be getting ready to go on a date or something, because why is she looking like that? Because I'm outside and mind your business. This ain't that. Okay? So with that being said, and because it's my girl Tara anniversary, we definitely want to get out here on time. We thank you guys for coming on and having this conversation with us.
It was wonderful. Today it was a good day. And actually, this is our very first show. So again, be looking forward to us next Monday.
Every Monday.
With a new topic.
Sunday.
Every month.
Sunday.
I'm
sorry.
Sunday, we did change the time.
From Sunday at 4 to 6 p.m.
4 to 6 p.m.
Sunday at 4 to 6 p.m. We just gonna come on here and give y'all a couple hours of some love.
Right.
Give y'all a new prescription on what to do in life and give y'all a healthy dose of reality.
Absolutely.
Because let me tell you something. Life hits us all differently. We all could be going through the same situation, but we can view it completely differently.
Right.
And so we wanted to give y'all our own opinion as to what this thing called life is.
Right.
We love you guys.
We love you guys.
And we thank you for coming on board and listening to us. And we will be back next week, Sunday at 4 p.m.
Sunday at 4
Look
p.m.
for us. Bye.